Smoking is often talked about in simple terms: bad lungs, cancer, early death. But modern science shows something deeper and more surprising. Smoking changes how your brain works, how your blood behaves, how your DNA repairs itself, and even affects the people around you, often faster than most people realize. In this video, we'll break down what really happens when you smoke, why quitting is so hard, and what the body can recover once smoking stops. If you want healthier habits, stick around. This will be science-based. Let's start with what a cigarette actually does to the body. A single cigarette contains thousands of chemicals. Some toxins are already present in tobacco. Many more are created when tobacco burns. Burning turns a cigarette into a small chemical factory. The smoke includes carcinogens, heavy metals, substances used in fuel, and pesticides, along with dozens known to damage cells in DNA. When smoke enters the mouth and airways, it hits sensitive tissue first. It can cause immediate damage. The lining of the airways become irritated and inflamed. Tiny hairs in the airways, whose job is to sweep out dirt, mucus, and germs, become damaged. When these tiny hairs don't work properly, the lungs make more mucus, but clear it more slowly. This is why smokers cough more. The lungs lose their cleaning system. This creates an environment where bacteria and other germs can stick around and multiply, increasing the risk of infections. Inside the lungs, smoke particles reach deep air sacs where oxygen enters the blood. Here, toxins cause inflammation and damage the thin barrier needed for breathing. Over time, this makes breathing less efficient and increases infection risk. Upon inhalation, nicotine triggers a stress-like response in the body. Blood pressure rises, the heart beats faster, breathing speeds up, and blood vessels tighten. The body also releases extra sugar into the bloodstream and becomes more alert. Nicotine moves fast. After inhaling it, it reaches the brain in about 10 to 20 seconds. That's faster than when injected into the bloodstream. Once in the brain, nicotine triggers the release of dopamine, a chemical linked to pleasure and reward. The brain quickly adjusts by dulling its own response. This is how dependence forms. Smoking stops being about pleasure and starts being about feeling normal. At the same time, chemicals in smoke damage DNA. The body can repair some of it, but repeated exposure overwhelms repair systems. This raises the chance that damages are not fixed and damaged cells survive and grow out of control, leading to cancer. Smoking also changes the blood. It makes platelets, the cells that form clots, more active. Blood becomes thicker and stickier. This raises the risk of heart attacks and stroke even in people who smoke only a few cigarettes a day. The effects don't stop with the smoker. Secondhand smoke exposes others to many of the same toxins. Children exposed to smoke show higher rates of asthma and lung infections. Adults exposed regularly have higher risks of heart disease and lung cancer. Smoke residual also clings to clothes, furniture, and walls, continuing exposure long after the cigarette is out. So smoking is not just a lung issue, it's a whole body process that starts fast and spreads wide. Over time, these short-term effects add up. Smoking is strongly linked to cancers of the lung, mouth, throat, bladder, pancreas, and stomach. But cancer is only part of the story. Smoking is also a strong risk factor for heart disease and stroke. It damages blood vessels, clogs arteries, and reduces oxygen delivery throughout the body. It also weakens the immune system. Smokers get more infections and recover more slowly. Bone density drops faster, raising fracture risk. Fertility is reduced in both men and women. During pregnancy, smoking increases the risk of premature birth and low birth weight. Now, let's clear up two common myths. Myth 1. Light or low tar cigarettes are safer. They're not. Smokers often inhale more deeply or smoke more cigarettes per day to get the same nicotine. The body ends up exposed to similar levels of toxins. Disease risk does not drop in a meaningful way. Myth 2. Only heavy smokers get sick. Not true. Even people who smoke 1 cigarette a day have a much higher risk of heart disease and stroke than non-smokers. There's no safe level of smoking. Another surprising fact, smoking increases oxidative stress throughout the body. This long-term oxidative stress, along with other factors, is linked to conditions like diabetes, vision loss, and cognitive decline. Smoking doesn't just shorten life, it often reduces quality of life years before that. The story of tobacco stretches back thousands of years, long before modern cigarettes existed. Indigenous people in the Americas were growing and using tobacco as early as 6000 BCE. It wasn't introduced to Europe until 1492, when Christopher Columbus returned from his first voyage to the Americas carrying tobacco leaves and seeds, unknowingly setting the stage for its spread across Europe and beyond. In the 1930s and 40s, smoking was completely normal in the United States. Even most doctors smoked. But as worries about health risks started to grow, tobacco companies responded by using doctors in their ads. These ads were meant to reassure the public that cigarettes were safe and doctor-approved. Over time, as stronger scientific evidence emerged, people became more skeptical. In the 1950s, large population studies began to show strong links between smoking and lung cancer. These findings were repeated across countries. Over time, evidence grew that smoking caused heart disease and many other illnesses. Another lesser-known discovery came later. Tobacco plants absorb radioactive substances from soil and water, or by it settling onto their leaves from the air. One of these substances becomes concentrated in cigarette smoke and delivers radiation directly to lung tissue. This was known by the mid-20th century, but initially received little public attention. As evidence mounted, governments began acting. Warning labels appeared, advertising was restricted, smoke-free indoor laws were introduced to protect non-smokers. These changes led to major drops in smoking rates and later, drops in smoke-related deaths. This history matters because it shows how long the dangers were ignored and how strongly health improves when exposure declines. Quitting smoking is difficult because nicotine changes the brain. With repeated exposure, the brain adjusts to expect nicotine. Dopamine levels drop without it. This creates irritability, anxiety, increased appetite, and difficulty sleeping. Concentration also falls. Importantly, this is not a lack of willpower. It's a temporary chemical imbalance. The brain has learned to expect nicotine, so when it's suddenly gone, everything feels off. Quitting is also harder because the brain connects smoking to everyday routines, like drinking coffee, visiting a restaurant or bar, feeling stressed, or being social. These situations can trigger cravings even after the body is no longer physically dependent. The good news is that the brain can relearn. Each craving that passes without smoking weakens the connection. Over time, the brain rebuilds its natural balance. Understanding this helps explain why support, medication, and patience can improve success. Quitting is a biological process. Struggling is normal and expected. Difficulty doesn't mean failure or lack of discipline. It simply means your brain and body are adjusting. With time, patience, and determination, quitting is possible. What happens after you quit? The body begins repairing itself quickly. Within 3 days, nicotine leaves the body. Withdrawal peaks, but carbon monoxide drops to normal levels. After 2 to 4 weeks, blood pressure and heart rate begin to return to normal, and the risk of sudden heart problems drops. Within about 12 weeks of quitting smoking, lung function begins to improve, and inflammation in the airways drops compared to people who keep smoking. Around the same time, brain chemistry also begins to rebalance, typically returning closer to a non-smoker state. After about 1 year, the risk of heart disease is cut roughly in half. Stroke risk continues to fall as the years go on. Cancer risk also drops steadily, even for people who smoked for many years. Quitting also strengthens the immune system. Compared to people who quit within the past year, those who have been smoke-free for 4 years have a much lower risk of pneumonia. And after about 5 years, the risk is nearly the same as someone who has never smoked. While some damage cannot be fully undone, much of the risk is reversible. The earlier quitting happens, the greater the benefit. but quitting helps at any age. Let's wrap up with the key takeaways. Smoking works fast, spreads wide, and affects far more than just the lungs. It alters the brain, damages DNA, thickens blood, and harms people nearby. Addiction is driven by biology, not weakness. The good news is that the body has a powerful ability to recover once smoking stops. Science shows that quitting improves health quickly and meaningful, and the benefits continue to grow with time. Class dismissed. After watching this, what's one small change you might try this week? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more research-backed health tips and check out our website to see what videos are coming up next.